Welcome back to week 3 of passing the Security Plus exam. I am your professor, Dr. Aisha. This week is one of the most important weeks of the entire course because we're going to focus on how attacks actually happen. And more importantly, how do we stop them? Section 1 is about threat actors and activists. Let's look deep into our threat actors, not just who they are, but how do we analyze them? Here's some terms that you really need to know. What is an actor's motivation? What are their capabilities? Do they have valuable resources? What is their level of sophistication? All of those terms can be applied to the actual threat actors. Like script kiddies, they use pre-built tools like through Kali Linux scripts. Very low skilled, but very dangerous due to volume. Hacktivist. Target organizations for ideological reasons. Think about website defacement or data leaks. Organized crime. This is where our ransomware lives. They are highly structured, profit-driven, often operating like a business. Nation-state actors, like APTs, they are advanced, persistent threats. They're long-term, they're very patient, and they go stealth-like. They don't just smash and grab, they live inside of your networks. Insider threats. They're the most underestimated threat. It could be malicious or they could be accidental. Here's a little note for the exam. If you see any exam question that says that they are well-funded, long-term stealth actors, that they are nation-state. Section 2, attack types. Now let's break down how attacks actually happen. Let's talk about malware. So there's different types of malware. First one we'll talk about is the actual worm. The worm self-propagates across the network. Next one is the virus. The virus needs user interaction, like when you click something you're not supposed to. A Trojan disguises itself as legitimate software. Ransomware, which is the #1 kind of attack where hackers encrypt your data for payment. Spyware, that's where they steal your information silently. Malware often delivers a payload after an infection. Here's some more good exam tips. If it spreads automatically, that's a worm. If it tricks the user, that's a Trojan. Now let's talk about social engineering. It's one of the most tested areas of the whole exam. There's different types of social engineering. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about phishing. We've talked about this in week 1, where we're talking about you receive emails, right? That is phishing, mass emails, phishing. Spear phishing is where it is a targeted attack. Whaling means they're coming after the executives, the CIO, the big bosses of the organization. Vishing is voice, phone-based. They're calling you on the phone. Smishing is SMS. They're texting you, DMing you, those kind of things. Social engineering attacks, there's reasons for that. Psychologically triggered. They psychologically make you feel like there's something urgent. You have to act now. You have to pay a certain thing now, or you're going to lose something. Or authority. They may feel they have authority, like a CEO action or something. Or another psychological feeling that they make you feel is fear. Account's been compromised. If there's human manipulation involved, that is social engineering. It is not a tactical exploit. It's social engineering. Now let's talk about the differences between different password attacks. Brute force, when it tries every outstanding combination out there. A dictionary attack uses word lists. Credential stuffing, they use leaked credentials. Table, they use pre-computed hashes. This is where hashing versus encryption really matters. If on the test you hear reusing passwords, that means that they are credential stuffing. Now let's talk about network attacks. Denial of service attack is big. This is where they overwhelm the system. to not know whether it's an attack or if it's a really authenticated user trying to get in. There's also an attack called the man-in-the-middle attack. This is when they intercept communication. A replay attack is when they resend captured data. DNS poisoning is where they redirect users to malicious sites. These kind of attacks target integrity and availability. Now let's talk about these vulnerabilities. There's several different types of vulnerabilities that we were going to talk about. The first one is technical vulnerabilities. Technical vulnerabilities include updates to operating systems because they need to be updated, open ports, as well as misconfigured firewalls. And then we have human vulnerabilities. Human vulnerabilities consist of lack of training, weak passwords, and also falling to phishing attacks. The next one is process vulnerabilities. This is when we have no policies, we have lack of access control, and we have lack of monitoring. When we think about these different vulnerabilities, we also need to think about our attack surface. Attack surface is every entry point into a system, like web applications, VPNs, remote access, right? Email systems. We reduce our attack surface, we reduce our risks. Section 4 is our mitigation and defense strategies. This is where our Security Plus certification becomes decision-based. This is when we need to think about layered security, like defense in depth. No single control is enough. We have to have multiple layers of security. Firewalls plus intrusion detection systems plus multi-factor authentication. Endpoint protection plus hashing and patching. Here's some core mitigations that I'm going to explain to you. First one is patching. This is often used and it's really the most effective to fix known vulnerabilities. Multi-factor authentication stops credential-based attacks. Least privileges. This is where users only get what they need as far as access is concerned. Security awareness training, currently right now, this is our best defense against phishing attacks. Network segmentation, this limits the spread of attacks. Detection versus prevention. This is a great discussion. Preventive controls, this is where it stops attacks, right? Like firewalls and multi-factor authentication. Detective controls, this is what identifies attacks, like IDSs, intrusion detection systems, and logs. Corrective controls, this is what corrects and fixes the damage, backups, patches. When going through the exam, think about that. Read the question very carefully and think about what is it asking for. Is it corrective or is it preventative? Now let's talk about the exam a little bit more today. So we're going to go over just a little bit how an attacker sends you a target email. This is going to be a scenario. This sends an email to an employee pretending to be IT, and they're going to ask for your login credentials. Let's break this down. What type of attack is that? If it's sending you an email, that is a spear phishing. If it's sending you the email, not just a mass email. This is to you. Spear phishing to get your credentials. What's the vulnerability here? You are the user. Trusting the user is the organization's vulnerability. And you may have lack of training to be able to identify these types of attacks. What kind of mitigation strategy could an organization do to prevent these type of attacks? They can make sure that all users have security awareness training and that they enforce multi-factor authentication. Let's go over one more scenario. A company is experiencing multiple login attempts, repeated, using known password leaks that were leaked. What type of attack is this? This is credential stuffing using leaked credentials. They mitigate this kind of attack, applying multi-factor authentication and password policies. So for week 3, let's do a quick closing. This week, we just connected the dots, right? Who are the attackers? What methods are they using? And what weaknesses are they exploiting? Most importantly, how do we stop them? If you really think about what you just learned this week, and you put this in perspective, and you think about the chain, who is the attacker, what's their method that they're using, what weaknesses are they exploiting, and how do you stop them? You'll be able to pass the Security Plus. Don't forget, in week 3, we're going to be doing a hands-on scenario-based training just like what we just went through. I can't wait to see you in class. Also, too, on Wednesday, we're going to go start hitting those exam study questions. So see you in class.